Imagine dawn over Thermopylae. No war cries, no clash of shields, only silence. A thick mist rolls through the narrow pass between mountain and sea, like the breath of a sleeping beast. You stand there on stones soaked in Aegean salt. The wind whispers through olive branches, and the air hums with anticipation, not of a storm of arrows, but of the storm within. This is the Spartans, mental calm, hearts beating steady, thoughts sharp as blades. Here, in 392 BCE, 300 warriors await the Persians, not with fury, but with cold calculation. Their silence before the storm is their weapon. But wait, what you think you know about Spartans is a Hollywood farce. Remember Zack Snyder is 300, muscled giants in crimson cloaks, hacking enemies apart, roaring like beasts, mindless killing machines blindly loyal to their king. Blood sprays, the camera shakes, the soundtrack roars. Millions bought it. Spartans as brute force incarnate. The film took legend and inflated it into epic myth, where discipline meant nothing more than fear of the lash or exile. Heroes, yes, but soulless, just muscle and steel. Now consider this question, one I've asked myself while poring over dusty scrolls and archaeological reports. Was Spartan iron will truly built on punishment alone? On that infamous stick system where boys from age 7 were beaten for the slightest sign of weakness? The cryptia, night hunts where young Spartans killed helots to harden their character. It sounds brutal, doesn't it? Plutarch described it as a rite of survival. But hold on, if fear was the sole motivator, why didn't the Spartans break under Persian onslaught? Why did their phalanx stand firm when other Greeks fled? Fear drives men to run, not to die smiling. Here's my hypothesis, forged from facts, not cinematic cliches. Sparta wasn't just a military camp. It was history, its first grand experiment in applied philosophy. Picture a society where Stoicism wasn't the abstract treatises by Epictetus, but daily practice. Spartans never read Marcus Aurelius. He was born centuries later, but they lived his ideals long before. Emotional control, acceptance of fate, focus on virtue above all. This was their creed. Lycurgus, their mythical lawgiver, supposedly designed the Agoge, the education system, not to forge killers, but philosophers in armor. Historians like Xenophon confirm it. Spartans despised luxury, valued moderation, and saw death as duty. This wasn't coincidence. It was design, a social experiment where the mind was forged like a Spartan shield, layer by layer, without cracks. I embark on this investigation to peel back the myth like an onion. From Thermopylae to the ruins of Sparta, through Herodotus, accounts and excavations in Laconia, we'll separate truth from legend. Was this philosophy in action or just romantic nonsense? Could Spartan resilience be the key to understanding how the ancient Greeks hacked the human mind? And why do their lessons echo so powerfully in our chaotic modern world? Let's find out. Because if Sparta taught us anything, it wasn't how to sever heads, but how to tame the storm within. Step closer to Sparta, its ruins, where the wind carries dust of centuries, and stones still bear the imprint of feet that once marched in unison. Lycurgus wasn't just a mythical king, emerging from legend's fog, as poets portray him. No, imagine him as an engineer of minds, a man who rebuilt society like a fortress laying its foundation layer by layer with ideas. Historians like Plutarch whisper that he returned from travels to Egypt, Crete, Lydia, with blueprints in his head, not for temples or aqueducts, but for the human soul. He didn't dictate laws from a throne. He designed a system where every citizen became part of a mechanism impervious to any assault. Fact: archaeological finds in Laconia, simple, unadorned clay shards, confirm Sparta rejected the glitter that blinded Athens. But did this design work in practice, or was Lycurgus merely a convenient symbol to justify cruelty? Peel back the first layer, the Great Retra. This wasn't just a set of bronze-inscribed rules. It was a blueprint of proto-Stoicism, forged centuries before Zeno. Lycurgus banned gold and silver, mandated communal meals, and enforced sleep on hard mats. Equality in daily life. No lavish villas, no servants, except helots. Why? Picture a cold evening in the syssitia, the communal hall, where Spartans chew barley-based black broth, while the air thickens with sweat and talk of duty. Herodotus noted this erased envy and extinguished greed, like water dousing flame. Through a philosophical lens, it's a pure rejection of the external, a focus on the internal. No room for passions that tear a phalanx apart from within. The Retra decreed, build no walls too high, a metaphor for the mind. Simplicity in stone reflected simplicity in thought. But wait, if this was a genius hack for resilience, why did the helots, the enslaved, feed this machine while rotting in chains? Was Spartan asceticism a voluntary elite choice, or a mask for totalitarian control where choice was illusion? Now consider a parallel that will stop you cold. Spartans lived Stoicism long before it was born. Zeno of Citium, founder of the Stoic school in Athens 3 centuries later, preached apatheia, mastery over passions, acceptance of the inevitable. But in Sparta, this wasn't lectures in a stoa. It was flesh and blood. The phalanx at Thermopylae was its living embodiment. Leonidas didn't roar in rage. He stood like a rock, knowing death was defeat, but duty. Xenophon, who observed Spartans firsthand, recorded how they scorned pleasure and saw hardship as the path to virtue. The sounds, whips cracking in the Agoge, where boys stole food to survive. Not sadism, but training. Sparta anticipated Zeno. Their lifestyle was a living treatise, where the body served the mind. Archaeology confirms it. No palaces, only barracks and training grounds. Yet skepticism creeps in. Was this philosophy, or mere survival in barren land? Laconia is rock and olive trees, not fertile plains. Was this coercion disguised as choice? When helots rebelled, Spartans drowned uprisings in blood through cryptia, night ambushes. Voluntary stoicism, or a whip waiting in the shadows. Dig deeper to the core ascesis. Don't confuse it with fanatical self-flagellation. It was Spartan mental training, forged in the crucible of daily life. The word echoes the Greek for exercise, not a torture. In the Agoge, boys ran barefoot over sharp stones, endured hunger, learned to stay silent under blows. Sensory detail, the cold of the forest during cryptia, heart pounding, but the mind whispering, hold on. Plutarch quotes, tears are for the weak. This wasn't breaking. It was strengthening. Layer by layer, the psyche became an impenetrable shield against fear. Parallel to the Stoics, Seneca later wrote of accepting fate. Spartans embodied it in their march. Fact: Spartan burials uncovered by archaeologists are minimalist. No pomp, only honor. Ascesis made them resilient. The body might bend, but the mind stayed straight as a spear. Yet, a haunting question remains. How many broke in silence, unrecorded? Did the Spartan machine simply discard the weak, keeping only steel? Ultimately, beneath layers of myth, truth emerges. Spartan discipline was to brute force. It was an engineered mindset where ascesis forged minds into weapons. Lycurgus as engineer, the Leuctra as code, anticipating the Stoics. Voluntary, totalitarian. The answer lies in the ruins and in us today, when outer chaos demands inner calm. Sparta whispers, tame your inner storm and your phalanx will hold. Imagine dawn in Laconia, gray as a blade. Sedge, a 7-year-old boy, ripped from bed into the Agoge. Sparta, school of life. No cozy home, only a stone barracks studded with thorns. Cold bites to the bone in winter. The Herodotus freezes, yet he plunges naked into its waters, teeth chattering like war drums. Hunger is constant. Barley broth, once a day, if he's lucky. Steal cheese from helots, risk the lash, or die quietly. Sensory reality, skin cracked by frosty wind. Feet bleeding on gravel training grounds. Air thick with sweat and fear. This isn't just Plutarch's legend. Excavations in Sparta reveal crude stone floors with no bedding, hearths for meager warmth. The Agoge showed no mercy, but did this meat grinder work? Or did it break more than it tempered? Peel back the first layer, physical deprivation as a tool for the mind. Spartans didn't just torture bodies, they forged the dichotomy of control. That very stoic hack Epictetus would describe centuries later. Separate what's in your power, thoughts, choices, endurance, from what isn't. Cold, hunger, a fist's blow. The boy in the Agoge learns, the body writhes, but the mind whispers, this is not me. Xenophon, who witnessed Spartans firsthand, wrote they endured without complaint because they focused inward. Fact, historians find references to silence under torture, not heroism for glory but training. Picture this, peers beat him for theft. Bones ache, but he counts steps in his head, repeats a mantra of duty. This built resilience. External storms, Persian spears, helot revolts, couldn't break him because his center of gravity was within. But what if it wasn't? How many students went mad in silence, unchronicled? Was control an illusion or a real shield? Go deeper. Pain isn't the enemy. It's the teacher. The Spartan didn't ignore it, he reframed it. Just as Stoics later practiced objective representation. Imagine the technique. A whip cracks, skin tears, blood drips onto dust. Instead of panic, analysis. This is just sensation, a wave in the body, not my essence. Herodotus described warriors at Thermopylae enduring wounds without flinching, not from madness, but habit indeed. The Agoge, instructors drilled. Pain is like a sea wave. It comes and goes. You are the rock. Sensory detail, muscles burning after mountain runs, salt taste of sweat on lips. But the mind detaches, observes from afar. This wasn't mysticism. Archaeology confirms it. Spartan graves show simple wounds, no signs of panic, in body positions. Parallel to Stoics, Marcus Aurelius later wrote of accepting the inevitable. Spartans lived it in the mud. But skepticism lingers. Was this a mask? Did pain break them, and survivors just lied to historians to seem godlike? Now the key: instructors weren't just executioners. They were mind programmers. Not only fists and whips, but words poured into ears like molten metal into a mold. Paidonomoi, older, battle-hardened veterans, didn't shout orders. They whispered philosophy under cover of night. The body fades, honor is eternal. In the syssitia, over that same black broth, conversations revolved not around loot, but virtue. Fact, Xenophon quotes Spartan elders teaching boys to distinguish passion from reason, like a smith separating ore from slag. A boy, shivering by a fire, hears, "Hunger teaches that needs are chains, freedom is in the soul." This was mental coding, layer by layer, from physical survival to an ethical compass. Excavations in Laconia revealed shared drinking cups, symbols of equality where hierarchy dissolved in conversation. But was it true? Were these wise mentors merely products of the system? Was their wisdom, just like Lycurgus, echo, or a tool of control to keep helots subdued? In the end, the Agoge reveals itself not as a slaughterhouse, but as a forge of psychic armor. Cold and hunger didn't create killing machines. They shaped minds capable of standing firm under pressure. The dichotomy of control, reinterpreted pain, mentors, whispers, all turned the Spartan into a philosopher in a warrior skin, an unbreakable psyche tested at Thermopylae. But is this enough to explain why the system collapsed? Whispers in Spartan barracks cut silence sharper than a blade. Picture the phalanx shoulder to shoulder, Persian drums thundering in the distance. Yet Spartans are silent. No cries, no curses, only heavy breathing, like wind through a gorge. Xenophon, that tireless chronicler, noted they spoke springly, as if each word were a coin too precious to spend. Why? Peel back the first layer, laconic speech, as a tool for mental clarity. In a world where Athenian orators wielded speeches like shields, Spartans honed language in the Agoge. Boys were forbidden idle chatter. Punishment for gossip was immediate, the whip leaving marks on skin. Fact, Plutarch cites their proverbs. Short as a spear thrust, words are weapons, but rust with excess. This wasn't whim. It was a linguistic hack for the mind. Brevity forced thoughts to crystallize, uncluttered. Stoics later in Athens preached the same. Zeno taught that empty words erode willpower. Spartans embodied it on the march, mind clear as a polished helmet. But did it work? Or did silence merely mask inner confusion, where philosophy wasn't read, but beaten in? Peel back another layer, legendary phrases etched into history like stone. Recall Thermopylae. A Persian messenger demands surrender of weapons. Leonidas replies, "Molon labe, come and take them." Not a lion's roar, not a threat. Just two words, cold as morning dew on Tigetus. Hollywood inflated this into an epic bellow. But wait, this is stoic calm in pure form. Energy conserved, focus on essence. No need for speeches, action speaks. Another example, before the Battle of Plataea, the Spartan Dienekes, told Persian arrows would blot out the sun, responds, "Good, then we'll fight in the shade." This isn't bravado, it's acceptance. Stoics called it phantasia cataleptique. Assess the situation. Don't waste energy on emotion. Sensory detail, taste of dust, clang of armor, and these words fall like a stone in water. Ripples, but no storm. Herodotus recorded them plainly. Archaeologists in Laconia find vast inscriptions echoing this brevity. These phrases forged phalanx unity. One mind, one will. But what if it's just legend? Did historians embellish to make Spartans seem wiser than they were? Go deeper. Silence as a weapon, a psychological press. In the syssitia, over black broth, conversation is rare. Eyes meet eyes, and silence weighs like a shield. Helots serving food squirm under that gaze. Spartans don't shout orders, they stay silent, and fear creeps in on its own. Emotional control in action. Don't waste words on anger, let the enemy break himself. Xenophon described how, in negotiations with Athenians, Spartans answered with pauses. Their opponents grew nervous, babbled, revealed weakness. This Stoic trick, apatheia as shield. Picture it, elders, council in a mud brick hall. Smoke thick in the air, silence hanging heavy as a chain. One nod, and the decision is made. Psychological pressure worked on the battlefield. Persians, used to war cries, panicked before a wall of silence. Fact, excavations at Thermopylae show Spartan positions. Narrow pass, where silence amplified the echo of footsteps. Stoic Seneca later wrote of silence as virtue. Spartans practiced it like smiths at the anvil. But skepticism rises. Wasn't this just fear of words? While Athens flourished with theater and philosophy, Sparta was an intellectual desert. Did laconic speech mask poverty of thought, passed off as wisdom? Now look to our time, in an age where tweets fly like arrows and notifications buzz like swarms. Spartan brevity is a superpower. Picture a Silicon Valley CEO surrounded by screens teaching their team to speak shorter. Clarity over noise. Psychologists confirm brevity reduces cognitive load, sharpens focus. Stoic undertone? Absolutely. In podcasts and TED Talks, Molon labe, echoes, stand firm, done to waste energy on drama. Spartan archaeology teaches, in a world of fake news, silence is a filter. But paradox, we imitate Spartans while ignoring their cost. Their laconic speech was forged in helot blood. Ours is crafted in apps. Does it work? In info chaos, yes. But without foundation, it's just a mask. Beneath the layers, the essence emerges. Spartan silence wasn't a flaw. It was an engineered tool of the Stoic mind. Brevity purified thought. Phrases forged will. Silence shattered enemies. In today's noise, it's a reminder. Fewer words, stronger shield. But was it philosophy or survival in a stone world? The answer lies in the echo of their pauses, eternal as ruins. Shadows lengthen over Sparta's ruins, and now they emerge, helots, chained to the earth like olive roots in Laconia's rocks. Picture dawn over fields. A Spartan strides with spear in hand, while a helot bends over furrows, back-scarred from last night, cryptias. Blood soaks the soil, not from battle, but from night hunts where young Spartans stalked like wolves, striking without warning. Plutarch called this tempering. But wait, isn't this a crack in Stoicism's armor? Stoics like Zeno and Seneca preached cosmopolitanism, humanity as one body, where harm to one wounds all. Yet here, Spartans, these philosophers in armor, trampled helots, enslaved after the Messenian Wars, forcing them to sow grain for the syssitia. Fact, Herodotus estimated helots outnumbered Spartiates 7-1. Their revolts drowned Laconia in blood, as in 482 BCE. Brutality masked as duty, they are enemies within, mentors whispered. But if Stoicism teaches equality of souls, why were Spartans blind to suffering beneath their feet? This isn't resilience. It's a blind wall, philosophy for the elite, built on bones. Did it work, or did it poison society, its roots? Peel back another layer, rigidity, like stone that won to bend in the wind. Sparta clung to Lycurgus code, unchanging as Tigetus granite. No innovations, no reforms, while Athenian ships plied the seas and Thebans forged new tactics. Spartans marched in old phalanx formation, shield to shield, step for step. Xenophon praised this stability, but dig deeper. Archaeological digs in Sparta revealed stagnation. Same clay pots, century after century. No Hellenic flair. Why? The Agoge drilled, change is weakness. Luxury is poison. Picture the elders, council in a mud brick hall, air heavy with lamp smoke, any hint of flexibility drowned in silence. Stoic focus on virtue sounds noble, but without adaptability, it's a trap. When helots revolted in 464 BCE, Spartans crushed it with cryptia, refusing to reform the system. Philosophy or stubbornness that broke their spine, while Persians evolved their armies. Spartan armor rusted. What if they'd softened the code? Would they have survived longer? Deeper still to the heart of the fracture, emotional deafness, where suppression turned to emptiness. Spartans forged minds, extinguishing passions like fire under rain. Zeno's apatheia in action, but the cost. Picture the syssitia at night. Black broth cools, duty talk fades, and eyes hold not fire, but ice. Plutarch noted Spartan women, hardened by the same Agoge, bore warriors. But where was tenderness? Historians like Aristotle whispered of female licentiousness. No, it was rebellion against a cage. Suppressing emotions made them resilient on the battlefield, but in life. Families cracked. Fathers returning from Thermopylae didn't hug sons, only nodded, passing the shield. Sensory detail, cold stone, under palm, as a helot slave begs for mercy, and the Spartan looks away, unmoved. Stoics taught discernment, but Spartans confused it. Emotions aren't enemies, they're signals. Deafness led to isolation. Alliances crumbled because trust needs warmth, not steel. Fact, in diplomacy with Athens, Spartans answered with pauses. But pauses done to build bridges. Humanity melted away, leaving machines. What if this wasn't strength, but a flaw? A void where the heart beats, but doesn't feel. Now the blow that shattered the myth. The Battle of Leuctra, 371 BCE. Picture Boeotian plains. Dust swirling under hooves. Thebans under Epaminondas, breaking rules. Not an equal phalanx. No, they struck in a wedge at the Spartan right flank, where the elite stood. Spartans held firm as always, silent, shields locked, will like steel. But innovation won. Thebans doubled ranks. Spears pierced the gap. Blood flowed, groans echoed over hills. 1,000 Spartiates fell, including King Cleombrotus. Xenophon, stunned, wrote, "They did not retreat, but they broke." Why? Willpower held the line, but without tactical flexibility. Collapse. Stoicism whispered, "Accept fate." But fate demanded evolution. Archaeologists dig the field, shield fragments, unchanged since Thermopylae. Persians lost by numbers, but Thebans hacked the system. Will alone couldn't stop spears. What if Sparta fell not from weakness, but blindness to change? Beneath myth's layers, truth emerges. Spartans weren't demigods. They were humans in rigid armor, with bugs in their code. Their stoic mindset was forged by genius, but cracked under the weight of helot cruelty, rigidity, deafness, and stagnation. Leuctra was the verdict: will without innovation is rust. Philosophy saved them in the gorge, but not in the open world. Sparta teaches not an ideal, but a lesson. Tame the inner storm, but leave a crack for the wind of change. Otherwise, ruins are your fate. The Silicon Valley sun scorches asphalt. Screens flash like Persian arrows at noon. Picture startup co-founders in slim-fit shorts, jogging Palo Alto trails. Stoicism podcasts blaring in their ears. Ryan Holiday, best-selling author of The Obstacle is the Way, quotes Marcus Aurelius, but pivots to Spartans. They didn't wait for lectures, they forged will in the dust. Biohackers in San Francisco labs swallow nootropics, mimicking the egg, ice baths, fasting as ritual to reboot the brain. Why? In a world where algorithms steal attention and burnout devours teams, the Spartan hack beckons. Harvard Business Review data confirms CEOs like Tim Ferriss adopt Spartan routines, minimalist wardrobes, single task focus, and productivity soars by 20%. But wait, this isn't a Hollywood myth. It's real experimentation. Silicon Valley minds, Xenophon, archives, building apps like Stoic for daily Molon labe meditations, sensory detail, smartwatch vibrations, cue breath work, ice-cold showers strike skin like Herodotus waters. They see Sparta as a resilience prototype. Focus inward, ignore external noise. Fact: venture funds invest in mental armor, stoic training for engineers, simulating bloodless cryptia. Does it work? In pandemic chaos and layoffs, yes. Stress drops like a Persian phalanx under assault. But dig deeper, aren't they romanticizing? Biohackers ignore helots, focusing only on the elite. Their discipline lives in gadgets, not stone. Sparta whispers, it's a tool, but without roots, it rusts. Peel back a layer. What to take from this ancient mind forge, and what to discard. First, the pearl. Resilience forged in ascesis fire. Spartans at Thermopylae didn't flinch from rage, but from training, body writhing, mind a rock. Today, psychologists like Kelly McGonigal echo this in The Willpower Instinct. Separate what you control, emotions, from what you don't, external chaos. Take this in an office where deadlines press. Like Persian spears, a breath pause, focus on one step, and you stand firm. Fact: Stanford research shows Spartan-style meditation cuts cortisol by 30%, building mental shields against burnout. Focus on virtue? Absolutely. Lycurgus, code taught. Luxury is chains. Moderation is freedom. In an age of endless scrolling, this is a hack. Fewer things, clearer thoughts. Picture clearing your inbox like a Spartan polishing his shield. Energy flows like the year of the Herodotus, but discard the cruelty, cryptia, where helot blood watered fields isn't a lesson. It's poison. Stoics like Epictetus, once a slave, would condemn it. True virtue isn't built on others' suffering. Suppressing emotions, dangerous edge. Spartan apathy forged warriors but suffocated empathy. Families cracked, alliances fell. Today, neuroscience warns total emotional suppression leads to depression, as in those simulating Agoge without balance. Discard rigidity. Leuctra proved will without flexibility. Falls. Take focus, but add adaptability. Discipline plus innovation. Sensory truth. Sparta. Cold stone teaches endurance, but the warm wind of change teaches survival. What if we hack it better? Not blind imitation, but synthesis. Stoicism with compassion. Deeper still, the verdict. Were Spartans philosophers? I have dug through ruins, scrolls, reports, and answer yes, but not in Athenian togas. Not theorists like Plato debating in academies, but practitioners whose ideas were forged in flesh. Xenophon saw it. Their life was a living treatise, anticipating Zeno. The Agoge wasn't sadism. It programmed minds for control, like Stoics practicing fantasia, cataleptike. Phrases like fight in the shade, wherein, to bravado. They embodied, assess, accept, act. Archaeology confirms it. Minimalist artifacts, no pomp. Reflect inner focus, not outer shine. But skepticism remains. Their philosophy served an elite blind to helots. Not universal like Seneca as, but a survival tool in Laconia's rocks. Philosophers of action, absolutely. They didn't write, but lived, forcing history to echo their steps. Paradox, in silence, wisdom louder than Athenian speeches was born. What if Lycurgus had given voice to the weak? Would they have endured longer? In the end, the investigation closes. Sparta isn't an ideal, it's a mirror. Take its fire, resilience and focus to stand in your storm. Discard its shadows, cruelty and deafness to avoid breaking those beside you. You, the reader, stand at the edge, find balance within. Discipline without empathy is empty armor. Empathy without resilience is a fragile shield. Tame your own Tygetus, cold for strength, warmth for connection. In this, your phalanx will hold, not in ruins, but in the flow of life.